Good morning, children. This is your science period. We are in chapter 16, Water, a Precious Resource. Today is the eighth part of the same chapter. Children, today our topic is conservation of water. And this conservation of water is done by the rain that we get, or which is our main source of water. So, we'll talk about rainwater harvesting and about many more other conservation methods of water. Yesterday in the period, we talked about the water management and we found that water is being wasted in many ways. Although we know the world is facing the scarcity of water, there is scarcity of water everywhere, there is shortage of water, but still people are wasting water in one way or the other. Here you can see in the picture how the tank is filled up, but still that water is overflowing. A person who is giving water on the ground, and we often give water in our gardens in the same way with the use of the pipes. Water we use for our day to day life, for bathing, washing our clothes, washing utensils, etc. And we often forget to close the tap at that time and we waste water. We wash our vehicles and we just let that water flow away, and merely we waste that water. And we can save all this water if we keep in mind that we have to conserve water. So, children, we are going to study first way of conserving water, and that is your rainwater harvesting. Rainwater normally runs into the drains, rivers, oceans, and some of it seeps through the soil, which is collected as underground water, and only a very small portion of the rainwater is retained on the land. Here you can see a pipe which is attached to the roof of a building, and this pipe will collect the rainwater that will fall on the roof and will later on be used. So this is a small model of your rainwater harvesting. We have seen that most of the water that we get as the rainfall, it just flows away, and this is a waste of precious natural resource. The rainwater which can be used, it can be recharged, and the groundwater, and this groundwater can later on be utilized for our needs, and this all is referred to as water harvesting or rainwater harvesting. For you, a small activity, children, you can ask within your own building, or even you can ask in the neighborhood that how rainwater harvesting is taking place within your area, or else you can ask if it is installed in your building or any of the nearby buildings. And if it is not there, you can tell them that this is the way it can be done. So now, children, just listen to me. What is rainwater harvesting and how we can practice it? Rooftop rainwater harvesting is one of the methods by which we collect the rainwater from the roofs of the building through the pipes, and this pipe is led into the water tank, which can later on be filtered by the simple methods for the further use of the water. This collected water is stored as underground water within the pits that are there, and we can recharge this groundwater later on. The pits and the tanks which are made in the low-lying areas collect this rainwater, and the water can be now filtered and disinfected for the consumption. This water which is consumed can be used up whenever we require. The water that can also be used to replenish our groundwater, that is your underground water. Even the level of water table can also be increased in our particular area with the help of this method. Here you can see in the picture, this is a triangular roof. So here from one of the side we can just collect the water with the help of the pipes, and this water can later on be used as potable water. Water is collected within the ground. From there, the water is carried to the tank and then it is filtered and it is again pumped and utilized. Then we have this type of buildings in our area. So here the water is collected from the terrace. That water is carried into a storage, either a reservoir. From there it is again carried to a tank which is filtered in between. This filter water is later on made insect free, either it is made disinfected and then it is again brought to a tank, and from that tank it is pumped to our house according to our consumption. So we saw that here we are using rainwater. There is one more way of conserving the rainwater which was practiced in olden days basically. Nowadays also it is there in some of the states of India also, but it is not practiced at a vast rate. We have at many places in India an old age practice of water storage, and we say that as Boweries. Bowery was the traditional way of collecting the rainwater. This was done with the help of the wells which were dug, and these wells, these pits were there, either it were there in the form of the tank, I will show you in the picture, and there were stairs, and the people used to draw water at the time of their requirement. But nowadays these Boweries have fell into disuse, and the garbage has been started filling in these reservoirs. So here you can see the picture of these Boweries. These are very common in Rajasthan, where the water is not in plenty. There is always scarcity of water. This is another form of Bowery where you can see the staircase on the sides. So these staircases were used for drawing the water, going down into the Bowery and fetching the water. Here you can see within a Bowery all the area which was supposed to be filled up with water is now covered with the alga, and this alga is now making this water not to be used, either it is not consumed for drinking, either any of the household work. However, because of the acute water shortage, people in these areas have had to rethink, and they have thought that these Boweries can be revived and they can be again cleaned, and so the situation is again changing and it is inspiring us to utilize it once again. So, in spite of the scanty rainfall, these places are now again maintaining and trying to manage the water and collect the rainwater in these Boweries so that it can be used up. So, children, we should try to conserve water in our home. We should try not to waste water because water is very essential. As you know, each drop of water is very helpful to us. It is of great use to us. The other way of conserving water is building of the dams, and even we can conserve water by planting more and more trees. So we should go for planting trees. We should try not to cut the trees, okay, because deforestation has led to many of the other climatic changes with the deforestation, even there is uneven rainfall. Situations like flood and droughts have been faced. So try not to cut the trees but plant more and more trees. And for today, we should pledge, either make a pledge, either take a pledge that conserve water and start at home. Thank you, Sairam.